Thank you to Dickie for the lovely saxophone stylings. My name is David Sheehan here on Z103 Online. I'm joined by Mr. Dara O'Canada. We're going to Netflix and chill right now, and we're going to take you through some of the Netflix shows we've watched, and we're going to start with The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So we've got a little trailer for you here.
In the town of Greendale, where it always feels like Halloween, there lived a girl who was half witch, half mortal, who, on her 16th birthday, would have to choose between two worlds, the witch world of her family and the human world of her friends. Happy birthday, sweet 16. And that girl is me.
And we're back. So, Dara, we compared our entire Netflix watch history using a sophisticated computer algorithm examining over 1,600 rows. And Sabrina's one of the few shows both of us have watched. We appear to have very different taste in things. I watch a lot more dreadful Japanese animation than you.
I watch a lot more detective kind of programs.
Could you come forward a little bit towards the mic, please?
Yeah, we both watched Sabrina.
Yes, we did. And I don't know about you, but I was drawn in because I watched the Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Melissa Joan Hart back in the 90s, I can't even remember when that aired.
Late 90s, early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you feel about this remake as a difference than the original?
I do like it, but if you were thinking it's going to be the same as the last one, it's completely different. It's taking a complete twist. It's a lot darker and a lot like the original with Melissa Joan Hart was a comedy base. Yeah. It was comedy based.
It was a literal sitcom with a laugh track.
Exactly.
They had an animatronic sassy cat.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with the new one. If you're expecting Salem the sassy cat, he's not like Salem the cat is in it.
Yeah,
he's not the sassy cat.
He's not a character like the original. So this starts with, I think Sabrina goes to see like a zombie film with her friends, and on the way home she decides to confess to Harvey that she's secretly a witch, because like what's playing on her mind at the start of the series is that on your 16th birthday you have to, like, if you're partly a witch, you have to go and like live in the witch world forever, and you have to leave like the mortal world behind. And she's kind of upset about that because she'll have to leave all her friends behind. So she confesses to Harvey in the first episode that she's a witch, and I'm like, holy crap, like surely they were going to build this up for the entire series, but then she wipes his memory.
Yeah, it's like bang, because in the original one, pretty much the entire series is him not knowing until close to the end. I think season 4 or 5. Do you know there's that many seasons? Spoilers, by the way. We're just gonna spoil the whole show. Don't listen to this if you don't want to know what happens. But yeah, we'll try not to ruin it, but we probably will.
Yeah, because the thing about the original one is that it was very kind of like perky and bubbly, and the witch world like existed. It was a separate dimension from the real world. It was like not at all connected. I was thinking about this before, that they had to go through, I think it was in the original, a linen closet.
You are right. It was upstairs and just the top of the stairs. It's around the corner from the stairs, and they cross on Sabrina's room.
Yeah,
I know their house very well.
And this was just a totally separate dimension. Like there was no way to get to the real world and the witch world except for going through this linen closet. But in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, it's like kind of two different halves of the same town. Like you can walk from the witchy part to the non-witchy part. You just don't know you're in the witchy part because they're like a secret society almost.
There's a big split there. And actually, now that you say that there's that they both are together but in two halves, if you've watched Riverdale, the program, they actually mentioned the town of Riverdale alongside Greendale a lot.
Yeah, and I was wondering as well, I don't know if you've ever seen the comedy series Community.
I haven't.
Oh, it's a silly comedy series that takes place in a community college, but the community college is set in Greendale. And I'm like, is there some sort of overlap between Sabrina the Teenage Witch? I don't think there is. I think it's just a coincidence.
I think it's the whole that, like, a lot of these are based on Archie comic books.
Yeah.
And they try to get that whole realm, that whole world together, and they kind of try and put it across all different series. So is Community is it an Archie comic book?
I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but you are right about that Archie Comics connection, because I've seen plenty of weird things where like I think there was like the Riverdale gang, and it was like, oh, the Riverdale gang meet the Punisher, you know, the Marvel superhero who kills criminals with machine guns.
Maybe Riverdale is the other world.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is the other realm.
Yeah, and definitely the one thing about this is that they made a good... They named the show well, because they called it The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
It's dark. I mean, if you don't want to hear someone say praise Satan 50 times an episode, this might not be the show for you.
But that's the thing, there was no real religion in the first. This is a big religious thing, isn't it? Like, they're following the Church of Night.
Yeah, and they are all the witches in this are devout Satanists.
Oh yeah,
100%. They worship the devil. They practice black magic. There's like no fuzzy middle ground here.
And if he comes and asks something of you, you must do it.
Yeah.
Like, it is really dark at times.
The devil in this as well is very creepily played by basically it's just like a big minotaur, except instead of the bull head it's just a goat head, and it looks super creepy, because I even find real goats creepy with their creepy rectangular irises. Like, why do you have corners inside your own eye? What's wrong with you? But yeah, the initial conflict of the show is that Sabrina doesn't want to go to the School of Night because I mean she'll have to leave her friends behind, and she sort of at the last minute refuses to sign what they call the Book of the Beast, which is the thing you were saying where like you have to agree to do what Satan asks of you, and by signing the Book of the Beast I think you get like extra magic powers or whatever, but she walks away and
level up.
Yeah, the entire impetus of the show is that there's two characters trying to get her to sign the Book of the Beast. One is the Father Blackwood, who is the like head of the Church of Satan.
Church of Night.
Yeah, he's played by Richard Goyle, who I loved from Coupling, which was basically a British rip-off of Friends from like 15-20 years ago. He was the dumb comic relief character. He was like the Joey. So it's weird seeing him being like, you know, the head priest of Satan. And then there's another character.
He's not a nice guy.
He's not a nice guy. No. There's another character played by the mistress from Doctor Who. She seems to like exclusively play like dominatrix style villains, and you find out at some point she's Lilith from the legend of like Adam and Eve.
I did not see that coming.
No, that was a big biblical reference.
It's like, as it's going along, especially in season 2 and going on with the whole Lilith thing, I was like, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, because I thought at the start that she was just like a what do you call it?
It's a follower.
Just like a demon shapeshifter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, she takes the body of Sabrina's favorite teacher and basically completely revolutionizes her personality. And she has a separate line where she's been given a mission by the devil to get Sabrina to sign the Book of the Dead. So you have both the principal and Lilith trying to get her to sign the Book of the Dead, but like for their own ends.
Yeah.
Because it emerges later that Sabrina's like the prophesized bride of the devil.
It's like what happened to Melissa Joy?
Yeah. Where's the sassy animatronic cat with the laugh track?
Yeah. Talking about Lilith, Joan see in the episode 1 when as you said, Sabrina's favorite teacher is taken over, well, actually killed.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Before she's killed, the person that she picks up, Joe Lilith, is that actually her actual form then?
I think so.
Is that another kind of disguise?
I don't know.
They never kind of...
Yeah, was she just like one of those body hopping alien kind of things? Yeah. Or did she ever have her own form? I don't know. Because, I don't know, have you seen the conclusion of Sabrina?
With the tunnel?
Yes.
Yeah. I have. Okay. Yeah.
Because towards the end,
I love how we spoil it for everyone else, but we're worried about spoiling it for each other.
Yeah. I don't want to. Well, I know you're listening. I can't have faith that anyone else is, but yeah. And there's other things going on as well, where like Sabrina's trying to keep her dark side hidden from like Harvey, but as the show is going on, like more and more witchy and wizard stuff starts to happen to the town, and she has to start using her powers more and more to defend him. And there's like moments where she like roasts a load of like ghosts who came back from the dead alive and like really enjoys it. And there's also a turn as well where she uses her powers for the first time evilly. Her hair color changes.
Yeah.
And her hair color changes from blonde as it is in the show to white as it is in the comics. And that's like her turn to be like a super evil Sabrina.
Yeah, it's Mach 2. But going on about the whole darkness of the whole thing, something that never mentioned in the in the first say we'll just call it the Melissa Joan Hart season.
Yeah.
Harvey's brother.
Yes.
His father. They're never. His family is never really mentioned in the original, but in this one they play a major role. And a sad role. Yeah,
no, it's Harvey. Out of all the characters, Harvey nearly gets it the worst out of everyone.
Yeah,
because there's a campaign by Lilith to basically like ruin all of Sabrina's friends' lives, so she'll have no friends. So what's on it? Oh no, that wasn't actually. It was the Weird Sisters who.
That was actually the Weird Sisters that decided that with Dorcas and Agatha.
Yeah, I think Harvey accidentally killed a deer. And they decide that they're going to murder Harvey in a mine by causing a mine collapse.
Yeah.
But they accidentally kill his brother because Sabrina had put a protection spell on him, which apparently can repel rocks, which is neat. But yeah, that
we could all do one of those.
Yeah. Just me walking into walls around here. But that takes a dark turn where like Sabrina reanimates the body of Harvey's dead brother.
And everything seems perfectly fine.
Yeah, he's not a mindless, violent zombie or anything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's where it goes.
Yeah, and Harvey ends up having to murder his own reanimated brother, and his father falls into like deeper alcoholism, and it's just everything is terrible.
If he had magic, he'd be going straight to the church at night without even bothering. He's there.
Yeah,
he was just everything but his life is dark. He was just like, it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, no, Harvey really gets it badly compared to the rest of them. We're going to stop now for a quick ad break. We'll be back in a minute. And we're back talking about Netflix shows on Z103 Online. My name is David Chin. I'm here with Mr. Dara O'Kaneda.
Hello.
One important aspect of this show is that they set up a deep love triangle kind of early on where it seems like Sabrina and Harvey are the perfect couple, but there's this like attractive, I think warlock is what they call them. They don't call them wizards.
No,
that would be too Harry Potter.
Warlock.
Called Nicholas Scratch. And like he appears to be like the perfect guy because no matter what Sabrina does, he's there to support her like 100%. He does whatever she wants, regardless of what she wants, and he's clearly very interested in her. But she won't return his affections because she's gone out with Harvey. But then, you know, as happens in every breakup, when you accidentally reanimate someone's dead brother and force them to murder them, the relationship kind of comes to an end.
Oh, I've had a few of those.
Yeah. So at this point then Sabrina does break up with Harvey and ends up getting together with Nicholas, which does kind of start the love triangle on and off. And one thing I was curious about, because I know Sabrina started in a comic, I looked up Nicholas Scratch just to see what I could find out about him. And you know what the internet said to me, Dara?
Tell me.
Nicholas Scratch is a supervillain and adversary of the Fantastic Four.
Oh, he is.
Apparently he's a Marvel Comics villain who like fought like the Thing and the Human Torch with magic, and then whatever. I'd love to know the legal status of Archie Comics and how much of them is owned by Marvel now. But yeah, he's just like a teen heartthrob now in this film or this series about Sabrina.
How did that come to me?
Yeah, and as you mentioned to me off mic, has no qualms about participating in the occasional orgy.
No, that is another thing about this Sabrina, and that was not in the last Sabrina with Melissa Joan Hart, is like there's a lot of sex.
There's a lot of sex. There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of casual.
It's not child friendly.
There's a lot of casual sex. A lot of casual murder.
Yes. What do you do with the casual murder this evening?
It was in the trailer for the show that Aunt Zelda and Aunt Hilda, there's a moment where Aunt Hilda kind of annoys Aunt Zelda, so she bludgeons her to death with a shovel and buries her in the front garden in the first episode.
Like when that happened, I was really confused because I was like, I didn't see this coming at all. Is she the evil one?
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? Because she doesn't come across great at times.
Yeah.
Zelda, and in the end, like you do begin to love her as it goes along.
Yeah.
But she doesn't do herself any favors.
Yeah. It turns out that apparently that they have a plot of land known as like the Lazarus land, or that Lazarus Pit. They just happen to have land on their estate that can revive the dead.
Yeah.
That's grand.
That was someone wrote that plot in perfectly.
Yeah, and I do actually. That is one thing I'll definitely give this series credit for. Is I really like how well defined Zelda and Hilda are in this, because I thought in the Melissa Joan Hart one they were kind of similar. They were both aunts. One was a bit more serious and one was a bit more silly, but like they were both tall and blonde and like relatively normal. But like
they're blonde, she's blonde. Everyone's kind of blonde.
Yeah. But in this remake, like Zelda and Hilda are very well defined characters in their own. Like Zelda's very regal, very like proper, quite beautiful. She's played by Miranda Otta, who was Arwen in the Lord of the Rings films. And then Hilda's like a bit shorter, a bit dumpier, much more practical, has the British accent. She was the secretary in Wonder Woman, if you've seen that.
Where does the British accent come from?
They never explain it.
They're definitely sisters and other aunts, but there are definitely sisters in this as well because Serena's dad is their brother.
Yes, yeah.
Where does the English accent come from?
They never explain it.
Either that or we missed something completely.
Yeah. Also, we haven't really mentioned him, but Cousin Ambrose also has a very strong English accent, and Cousin Ambrose was not in the Melissa Joan Hart one.
And it's proper English.
Proper English.
Yeah,
Aunt Zelda and Aunt Hilda.
Yeah.
I must help you.
I actually like him as a character.
He's really good. I feel like he's this series' Salem in a way.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned it briefly, but in this thing, Salem is like a wild spirit that Sabrina finds, and she makes it her familiar.
Yeah,
and he's kind of protecting her early on, and then he just kind of is not in the show anymore.
No, not as much. And just trying to think about familiars.
I've never 100% understood the concept of witches and familiars.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Does Ambrose end up eating his familiar?
He does. Yes. The plot of Ambrose is that he is in like witch exile because he tried to blow up the Vatican, and he's like under house arrest for like hundreds of years.
Oh, I like him even more.
And at a point, the Father Blackwood gives him a familiar, but it like tunnels inside of him and takes control of him. So it was kind of like he didn't eat it willingly. It tried to control him. Yeah. But Ambrose is a cool character. And he's a good character to add on, since we basically lost Talking Salem. One thing I remember you mentioned while we were off air is that the power balance between the different familiars is a bit unbalanced, because Sabrina has a cat. Nicholas, on the other hand,
has a werewolf.
Yeah. His familiar is like a 7 foot tall, half wolf, half human monster,
who must be murdered.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what's going on?
Yeah, and I don't think.
But then he has no familiar, and as far as I was aware, you have to have some sort of a familiar at some stage.
Yeah, and I don't think we know what anyone else's familiar is in the entire show. I think Hilda might have a spider.
Yeah, she's spider.
I can't remember what Zelda has, and I don't know if Father Blackwood. We do know that Lilith has a raven.
And if his name will come to me, but she kills him as well.
Yeah, she kills him in a fit of rage because he like talks back to her.
Yeah.
And then the devil gives her the familiar back later.
Yeah.
But it's kind of bitter about the whole being murdered thing. So it's not 100% on her side.
Well, personally, I think I'd be a bit annoyed as well.
The familiar actually is in the same biblical tale as Lilith. I forget what it was called, but it was also from the Bible. So it is also like thousands of years old. I don't know how, as far as the Bible goes, the earth can only be 6,000 years old. So like, it's not like anyone in the show is millions of years old.
Yeah. Awkward. No, I'm stuck trying to think of his name. I can't think of his name. But
no, it's completely lost me.
But it's just a strange series. Enjoyable, love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you recommend it?
I definitely would recommend it, and from what I can gather, there will be another season from how it ended. Yes. They definitely ended on a cliffhanger. Well, everybody tries to end things on a cliffhanger because everybody wants to be renewed for another show. I've seen plenty of shows that was like, we're going to disclose the mystery in the next season, and then they're cancelled and we never see them again. Watching The Weird Sisters. I like The Weird Sisters. I felt bad for one of them, Abigail Cowan, because there's 3 weird sisters and 2 of them are in the opening credits and 1 of them is in the ending credits. Oh. So she's like either less famous or gets paid less than the other 2. But awkward. Yeah, it is really awkward. That's a power struggle there waiting to happen. Yeah, they even showed the intro that you have the 3 weird sisters, and like one of them goes towards the camera, like, that's this person's name, that's this person's name, and on to the next group of characters. So yeah, I feel bad for you, Abigail Cowan. You're always the first name in the end credits, but you're never in the starting credits. Oh, poor Abby. One show that we're probably going to talk about next time is a sitcom called One Day at a Time, which is a Spanish
or not Spanish, sorry. It's a Cuban sitcom about a single mother trying to raise 2 kids. And I didn't know this originally, Dara, but One Day at a Time is a remake of a show from the 80s.
Yeah, I learned that recently as well myself. I didn't know that either.
I have a song here. I'll just play this briefly, but I only found out recently. This was sung by Gloria Estefan.
Así es la vida, solo es una, se debe aprovechar. Así es, hacia adelante hay que mirar, deja el pasado atrás, cada momento celebrar, cada emoción, cada lugar, poco a poco llegará su día a la vez, por eso a bailar, arriba, la música te llama, déjate de preocupar, no te venga que enfrentar, un día a la vez, one day at a time, un día a la vez, un día a la vez, lo tomas un día a la vez, un día a la vez, one day at a time, un día a la vez.
Classic theme song. If you watch it on Netflix, you only get the English version, but I think I prefer that Spanish one where I don't know any of the words.
If you could listen in during the song, he was trying. He was singing.
Oh, don't yell at this. I don't know. But yeah, this follows basically it's a Cuban single mom who is an army vet trying to raise 2 kids, and when I started watching it, I thought it would be like super typical sitcom. It's like, oh, people make a joke, everybody laughs, someone enters a room, the audience claps, some like super basic stuff. But like it has some quite heartfelt moments, and like they deal a lot with like racism and homophobia and like depression and addiction. Like they touch on some real topics, which kind of took me by surprise in the first episode.
It really, like, it is deep.
It is deep.
It's hilarious.
It is quite funny as well.
But it's deep, and like you said, it hits on everything.
It does hit on a lot of notes. I think what drew me to it is I think I listened to an interview with Stephen Tobolowsky. Do you know who he is?
I do not.
He's Dr. Berkowitz in this.
Oh, Berkowitz.
And he's the
comic relief.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of the comic relief. But he started the first thing I saw him in was he was the guy in Groundhog Day who went, Ned! He talks to Bill Murray in Groundhog Day right as Bill Murray steps in the puddle. It's the first thing I saw him in. And then he had a number of other careers. But yeah, he's great in this as what would you call him, like a failed Jewish doctor? Like he's a successful doctor, but he appears to have failed in every other aspect of his life where like all his children have divorced him. Like
I love the phone calls from the daughter.
Yeah.
They don't like him.
Yeah, and he's the main character's boss. So she's a nurse, and she used to be in the US Army. And there's a great connection where he has a huge crush on her mom, but her mom is still loyal to her dead husband, so she refuses to go out on any dates with him. So he is like super omni-friend zoned. But
I still love that, how jealous she gets.
Yeah.
It's like, we're only friends, but you can't have a relationship with anybody else.
Yes.
It's like, you're my Leslie is what his name is.
Leslie Berkowitz, yeah. And his great little insights as well into Cuban culture, because as an Irish person, I don't know anything about Cubans. We learned that, if there's more than 6 people in a room, it's declared a party. They're incredibly overprotective of their children. Apparently you have to pass around a shawl at marriages and stuff that gets passed on at death. It's very educational for someone like me who I don't know anything about Latino cultures.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That is what I'd really recommend it.
Yeah, I would definitely check that out. It is short. The episodes are only like 22 minutes long, so you can get through one day at a time much faster than you can get through Sabrina.
Probably get it through in one day at a time.
You can. You did it. You called it back. That's it. We're going to have to finish up on the perfect pun. That's all from us today. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.